All right, welcome to session 1.2.4. This is a very short session because I gave students a lot of time to work on their concept maps in class, and we played kind of a test game called GimKit. Today is just this mini lesson, and if you have time and you want to play around with a concept map, I would highly encourage that, and be sure to check out the study sheet so you can be studying and creating your own flashcards to do that. Lightner system would be amazing, because your test is, if you're in 6.1, 3 or 5, that's on Monday, and 6.4 I believe is on Tuesday. All right, what is light made of, and what is it called when light bounces off something? This was actually kind of a cool lesson you missed, and I'm not going to do all of it. I will do the one thing. All right, here we go. Light is made of energy. Okay, light's made of energy. That specific form of energy are called photons. And I think they're some of the smallest known particles in the universe. So it's kind of cool. Light is fast. It goes 300,000 kilometers per second. That's really fast. And to give you some idea about that, the Earth's diameter is 40,000 kilometers. And why is that important? If we take the 300,000 and divide it by 40,000, we get 7.5. And why is that kind of cool? Well, if you think about the Earth and the equator, so the equator goes around, right, all the way around and back. So if you started at one point and you went all the way around the world and got all the way back. See, it's hard to show that, isn't it? Hold on a second. All right, we have this line. I'm going to pretend this line is the Earth, all right, and this is the equator, and so it goes all the way around, like that. Okay, so that's one. So that means in 1 second, light is able to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.5 times around the world in 1 second. That's bonkers. That's fast. It really is. Then if you think about, this is something else I brought up in some of the classes. A light year. Okay, so a light year is the distance light travels in 1 year. So if it goes 7.5 times around the Earth in 1 second, how far does it go in a year? And the stars that we see are light years away. And even like the light from the sun takes 8 minutes. It takes 8 minutes to get to us. So that's 8 times 60 is what, 480? It's 480 seconds. It's like 3,000 times around the Earth, right, in 8 minutes. That's far. That's far. Space is enormous. Space is big. I did some other stuff in class thinking about light and how it, when you have a flashlight on, where am I? Flashlight is on, you don't see the light until it bounces or reflects off something. Once you have that reflection, that's when it bounces off as a reflection. That's when you can see the light, and you see those photons backing off it. I had a little laser that I was playing with too. So you missed, that was fun. We put it through water, and the water bends it the opposite way. So when you're moving, it goes the opposite way the laser's moving. And we bounced the laser off some mirrors as well. So that was kind of fun. And then again, like I said, we did concept maps and played a game. So that's all for right now. Be sure to anchor your learning, and then we'll move on. All right, mini thing. I didn't go over that quote. Sorry about that. So our quote was called, "Be kind to your future self." And this is an important quote for me. Ernest Hemingway came up with it. I think he's credited with it, at least. He was an American author, and he would type, and every time he would be finishing his writing session, he would stop in the middle of a sentence. So when he got back to the typewriter the next day, he knew where to start from. So he's thinking about himself in the future and being kind. He was not necessarily kind to himself in other ways. But we can still learn from people no matter what there. And what I think about this is that when you're in the present moment, it's sometimes hard to think about your future person and who you want that to be. And a lot of times our future self, they pay the consequences and reap the benefits of what our present selves are doing. So that's a really important person for you to keep in thought, keep in mind. It's who do you want to be in the future? What kind of options do you want to have in the future? And then make decisions in the present so that you can kind of fulfill those, which kind of gives you the answer to that first question, doesn't it? But let's get going there. There it is. Put a exclamation. Oh, what does be kind to your future self mean? You should keep yourself in mind when making decisions. That's basically how do we start every session of science? Ooh, good question, Mr. I know I didn't talk about this, but you've been in a bunch of science classes at this point, so you should start to internalize. How do we start? How do we start every session? What is similar about every session of science? And this is it. And everyone's freaking out. I have to memorize. I have to know it. Well, I mean, you should know this. We put a title on our notebook. We breathe. We focus. We make a commitment. We see a quote. We go over the many things from the day before, and we go over the agenda. And then we get started with science. So every day is the same because ritual, habit, all that stuff is very important for us to kind of get in that mode or that zone of learning and to really go, okay, where am I right now? What are the expectations of my behavior? All of that good stuff. What is light made of? 3, 2, 1. Energy, photons, either or is correct. What is it called when light bounces off an object? I said that very briefly when I smacked my hand. But that's actually, now that I think about that, that's wrong. So it bounces, but it doesn't really hit. I don't know what kind of contact we're thinking about here. That's a good question. But we call that reflection. And what are the 3 options available when we anchor our learning? So every time we anchor, there's 3 different questions we can be thinking about. And those are, what do I remember? What is important or true? And then what does this connect to? Cool. All right, see you later, alligator. Hey, there's my daughter. Say hi.